Hello all. In this video, I will show you how to join the StatCrunch group for our class is ARC Stat 300 R. Owens. I will go through the steps on how to join that, and I will also talk about the shapes of the different graphs and distributions. I hope that you noticed that I changed the due date for P2 handout just because I'm just now posting this video. So that will now be due on Monday, and now hopefully that gives you more time to complete the homework. And in class, we will still cover section P3 on Friday. So let's go talk about graphs of distributions and StatCrunch. Alright, so first let's talk about the different types of graphs that you will encounter. So we can have a dot plot. So a dot plot is kind of like some people may think of it as a scatter plot, but it's slightly different. So for a dot plot, you usually have a minimum value and some sort of max value, and you put dots where you have data. So if you remember from our GPS data, some of you had the same mileage, and so I had you stand in front of one another. So this will be an example of a dot plot. Let me try to get this in focus. There we go. Maybe. The other type of graph is a histogram. So what is a histogram? So a histogram is a graph consisting of bars of equal width drawn adjacent to each other, unless there are gaps in the data. So an example of a histogram is you may have things that look like this depending on what your data, and then if you have outliers you may have some stuff over here. The height of the box usually tells you the number of values in that class. So you have a class here, and the height is number of values, or what we call the frequency, in each class. So that is also called the frequency. And so this will be that will be an example of a histogram. Another one we're going to talk about is the box plot, but I will show you in StatCrunch how to do that one. The graphs of things can help us determine what the data looks like. So we can talk about this skewedness of data, whether it's skewed right or skewed left, whether it's symmetric, bimodal, or uniform. So I will talk about all those things. Let's look at our StatCrunch. So from your modules in Canvas, let me go back to it. Once you log on to Canvas and go to our modules, go to the applets and open up StatCrunch. Open StatCrunch in a new window. Here I'm already signed in, but it will ask you to sign in or register if you haven't got an account yet. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in, and once you're there, we're going to go to My StatCrunch. And from here you're going to be able to access your data. And right now I am just going to access my data. You don't have to do anything at this moment. And I am going to load the GPS. I did not save the GPS from our class, so I'm going to use the GPS data from my Tuesday, Thursday class. So I'm going to go ahead and open that just so that you can see with StatCrunch. So this is the mileage for the class, and if I want to do the graph, I'm going to go to graph, and the different ones that I talked about are the dot plot. So that's what the dot plot looks like. You can make it bigger, and notice that we did have some outliers. So I chose this one because it was very similar to our data from the Friday class. And I could also make a histogram. And here's the histogram. So notice the frequency. So between 0 and 10, we had a lot of people that live very close to the college, And notice that here, if I leave it there, it tells me how many, 18 people live between 0 and 10 miles from the college. And then the second box is 14 people, and so on. There was one person 40 miles away, and one person was between 80 and 90 miles away. And so this is a histogram. And the other one that we're going to study is a box plot. And I will show you how to do this. So here's the box plot for this data. Notice that these are the outliers. So one of the things we want to know is this data symmetric, or skewed right, or skewed left, or bimodal, or uniform? Uniform usually means it's all the same all the way through. So this is definitely not uniform. It's not symmetric. Symmetric means is mound shape. So it will look like a bell curve. So this is not symmetric. So is it skewed left or skewed right? And some of us may be tempted to say is skewed left, because we see that most of the data is to the left, but it's actually the opposite. So this data is skewed right because the data has a right tail. And so something will be skewed left if it had a left tail. So another way to think of it is if you have outliers to the right, then you're skewed right. If you have outliers to the left, you are skewed left.